My husband had terminal cancer and his final wish was a family trip to Disney. I abandoned him and our kids on day 2 to meet my affair partner while he was still fighting for his life. I was in a Holiday Inn Express having shower sex with my coworker while my husband of 12 years was collapsing in Magic Kingdom. That's the sentence that plays on repeat in my head at 3 a.m. when I can't sleep, which is every night now. His name was Marcus. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Diagnosed 11 months before Disney. The doctors gave him 6 months, maybe 9 with aggressive treatment. He made it to 13 months through sheer willpower and because he wanted to see our kids, Liam, 10, and Sophie, 7, one more time before he couldn't walk anymore. His dying wish was Disney World. Not for him. For them. He wanted them to have one perfect memory that wasn't hospitals and chemo bags and their dad losing 60 pounds and going yellow from jaundice. Make-A-Wish hooked us up. Free resort, free tickets, the whole package. We had 5 days planned. I'd been sleeping with Ryan for 4 months. Ryan from my office, sales department, 29 years old, no kids, no dying husband, no responsibility. He made me feel like something other than a caretaker and a widow in training. With Ryan, I could pretend my husband wasn't dying in our guest room because he couldn't make it up the stairs anymore. Marcus didn't know. How could he? He was too busy trying not to die, trying to make it to Disney, trying to be strong for the kids even though I could see him wincing every time he moved. The cancer had spread to his spine. Every step hurt. But he smiled through it because that's what Marcus did. He smiled and pretended everything was fine even when it wasn't. I told Ryan about the trip 2 weeks before we left. Told him the dates. He said, I've got PTO saved up. I could fly down for a day. We could finally have a whole night together. I should have said no. Should have blocked him. Should have realized what kind of monster considers cheating on her dying husband during his literal dying wish. But I didn't. I texted back, book a hotel off-property. I'll figure it out. We flew to Orlando on a Sunday. Marcus could barely make it through TSA. I had to get him a wheelchair. He hated it, being wheeled around like he was already gone, but he couldn't walk that far. The kids didn't understand. Liam kept asking why Dad needed a wheelchair. Sophie cried because she thought it meant he was dying faster. He wasn't dying faster. He was just dying. Day 1 was Animal Kingdom. Marcus lasted 4 hours. The heat destroyed him. He kept having to sit down, kept drinking water but couldn't keep it down. By 2 p.m., his lips were cracked and bleeding. We went back to the hotel. He slept for 14 hours straight. That night, while he was passed out on medication, I texted Ryan, tomorrow. Send me the address. I'll come around 10. The kids slept in the same room as us. Sophie in one bed, Liam in the other, Marcus and me in the pull-out couch. I laid there next to my husband, listening to his labored breathing, the rattle in his lungs that meant fluid buildup, and I texted another man about how I couldn't wait to be with him. Day 2. Monday. The day I stopped being human. Marcus wanted to do Magic Kingdom. He'd been researching it for months, had a whole plan. He wanted to take the kids on Pirates of the Caribbean because Liam loved pirates. Wanted to get Sophie a Belle dress because Beauty and the Beast was her favorite. Had this whole schedule mapped out to maximize their time because he knew, we all knew, this was it. This was the last family trip. The last time we'd all be together before he got too sick to leave the house, before hospice moved into our living room, before the end. We got to the hotel breakfast at 8:30 a.m. Marcus looked terrible. Gray skin. Sunken eyes. He'd lost another 3 pounds since we'd arrived, could barely eat. But he was trying. He was cutting Sophie's waffle into tiny pieces, helping Liam pour syrup, asking them what rides they wanted to go on first. And I was checking my phone under the table, reading Ryan's text, room 237. Already here. Brought wine. Can't stop thinking about you. I took a bite of eggs. Swallowed. Looked at Marcus struggling to stay upright in his chair. Looked at my kids, excited and happy for the first time in months. And I said, I have a migraine. I think I need to go back to the room. Marcus's face did this thing, this tiny collapse. Like he'd been expecting it but hoping he was wrong. He said, you want me to come with you? The kids can go to the Hotel Kids Club for a few hours. No. You guys go. I'll meet up with you after lunch. I just need to sleep it off. Liam looked disappointed. Sophie reached across the table and touched my hand. Her little fingers, so small. She said, but Mama, you're gonna miss the parade. I'll catch the next one, baby. You guys go have fun. Marcus helped me up. He was the one who was dying, and he helped me up. He said quietly, so the kids couldn't hear, you sure you're okay? You've been getting a lot of migraines lately. I'm fine. Just stressed. Go have fun with the kids. He kissed my forehead. He kissed me and I was about to go be with another man. He said, I love you. Thank you for doing this. For bringing us here. It means everything. I couldn't say it back. I just nodded and walked away. The Uber to Ryan's hotel took 22 minutes. I checked my phone twice during the ride. Marcus had texted once, got the kids on Dumbo. Sophie's laughing so hard. Wish you were here. I replied, feel better soon. Love you guys. Then I turned my phone off Do Not Disturb. Ryan answered the door in a white t-shirt and jeans. He looked so normal. So healthy. So alive. He pulled me inside and kissed me and said, finally. I've been dying to get you alone. Dying. He said dying. Like it was just an expression. Like my actual husband wasn't actually dying 20 minutes away. We had sex. It was good. It was always good with Ryan because there was no baggage, no sickness, no death. Just bodies and pleasure and forgetting. He poured us wine after. We laid in bed and he talked about work drama, about his roommate who wasn't paying rent, about how he was thinking of getting a dog. Normal problems. God, I miss normal problems. I didn't check my phone until 1:45 p.m. I'd had it on Do Not Disturb for 3 hours. 114 missed calls. 157 text messages. 23 voicemails. All Marcus. All the kids' iPad. All my mother-in-law who I didn't even know was trying to reach me. The first text was from Marcus at 11:23 a.m. Sarah, where are you? I need you. 11:41 a.m. I'm not feeling good. Really not good. Kids are scared. Please call me. 12:04 p.m. I collapsed. In the bathroom at Cosmic Rays. Security called an ambulance. Where are you? 12:19 p.m. They're taking me to Celebration Hospital. Sophie is hysterical. Liam won't stop crying. They're asking if they can call someone else. Who do I call? Where is my wife? 12:47 p.m. They're saying my liver is failing. They're running tests. I told them my wife would be here soon. Was I wrong? 1:08 p.m. I called your mom. She's not answering. I called your sister. She said she hasn't heard from you. So where are you, Sarah? 1:23 p.m. Screenshot. Ryan's Instagram story from an hour ago. A photo of the hotel room service menu with the caption best vacation day ever. And in the reflection of the window behind the menu, barely visible but there, me. My face. My hair. My distinctive tattoo on my shoulder. 1:31 p.m. Got it. Cool. I'm dying in a hospital and you're with him. 1:44 p.m. Don't come. I mean it. Don't you dare show your face here. Then from Liam's iPad at 1:52 p.m. Mom, where are you? Dad's really sick. He's shaking and he can't stop throwing up. I'm scared. Sophie's crying. Please come. I threw up. Ryan was asking what was wrong. I couldn't speak. I grabbed my purse and ran out of that room so fast I left my shoes behind. The hospital was 19 minutes away. 19 minutes of my hands shaking so bad I couldn't dial my phone. 19 minutes of trying to call Marcus and getting sent to voicemail every single time. 19 minutes of reading text after text from my 10-year-old son, begging me to come help his dying father. Mom, please, he needs you. Mom, he's crying and Dad never cries. Mom, the doctors are using big words I don't understand. Mom, please. Mom. 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 I ran into the ER at 2:08 p.m. The woman at the desk directed me to the ICU. 3rd floor. Room 312. Marcus was alone when I walked in. The kids weren't there. He was hooked up to IVs, oxygen mask, monitors beeping. His eyes were closed. I thought he was asleep. Then he opened them. Looked right at me. And said, in a voice so quiet I barely heard it, "Get out. Marcus. Get out of this room. Where are the kids? Are they okay? They're with a social worker because their mother abandoned them. You know what Liam said to me when the ambulance came? He said, should I call Mom? And I said yes. I said yes, call your mother, she'll come. And you know how many times he called you, Sarah? 47 times. 47 times my son called his mother while his father was dying in a Disney bathroom, and you didn't pick up once. My phone was on silent. I didn't know. You didn't know because you were with Ryan. He said Ryan's name like it tasted bad. How long? Marcus, please. How long have you been seeing him? 4 months. He laughed. It was a horrible sound, wet and broken. 4 months. So basically, since I got my prognosis. Since the doctors told us I had less than a year. That's when you decided to start shopping for my replacement. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Explain it to me. Explain how you thought it was okay to leave me and our children on my dying wish trip so you could be with a 29-year-old who uses phrases like best vacation day ever while I'm literally dying. I needed an escape. I needed to feel normal. Normal? He tried to sit up, couldn't, fell back. His face was twisted in pain. Normal? You want to know what's not normal, Sarah? Dying at 38. Leaving your kids without a father. Spending your last months in agony while your wife sleeps with someone else because she needs an escape. You don't understand what it's been like for me. For you? His voice cracked. It's been hard for you? Watching me die has been hard for you? Try actually dying, Sarah. Try feeling your own body fail, try watching your kids' faces every time you can't play with them, try knowing you have weeks left and spending those weeks getting cheated on by the one person who promised to be there in sickness and in health. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't change anything. Sorry doesn't erase the fact that I collapsed in a public bathroom, losing control of my body, and instead of my wife, I had a Disney security guard holding my hand. Sorry doesn't change the fact that Liam had to watch that, had to see his dad like that, had to be the adult because his mother was getting intimate in a Holiday Inn. Where are the kids now? Child Protective Services took them. Temporarily. Because when the social worker asked if there was another parent who could take custody, I said no. I said their mother was unavailable. You didn't. I did. Because you were unavailable, Sarah. You were unavailable for your dying husband and your terrified children. So yeah, CPS took them to a temporary foster situation until my parents could get here. Your parents are coming? They'll be here in 3 hours. They're taking the kids back to Michigan. Taking them home. Away from you. You can't do that. I can and I did. I'm dying, Sarah. I have power of attorney, medical custody, all of it. And I'm using it to protect my kids from you. A doctor came in then. Young guy, maybe 30. He looked uncomfortable. He said, Mrs. Harrison, I need to talk to you and your husband about his condition. She's leaving, Marcus said. Marcus, please. The doctor needs to talk to me about my failing liver and whether I'm going to make it through the week, and you don't get to be here for that conversation. You don't get to pretend you care. You don't get to hold my hand and cry and act like a grieving wife. You're not my wife anymore. You're just the woman who used to be my wife before she decided dying husbands weren't worth staying faithful to. Mr. Harrison, the doctor said gently, your wife should probably hear this. She should have been here 6 hours ago. She made her choice. I stood there for a long moment. Marcus wouldn't look at me. He just stared at the ceiling, jaw clenched. I walked out. I found the social worker's office on the 2nd floor. She was a kind-looking woman, maybe 50. She told me Liam and Sophie were in a temporary emergency placement, that they were safe, that they'd be released to Marcus's parents as soon as they arrived. Can I see them? I asked. Mr. Harrison has requested no contact between you and the children at this time. He can't do that. I'm their mother. She looked at me with something like pity. Ma'am, your 10-year-old son called 911 from his iPad because you weren't answering your phone and his father was unconscious. Your 7-year-old daughter had a panic attack in the ambulance. They'd been through a traumatic event and right now, their father believes contact with you would be harmful to their well-being. That's not fair. With all due respect, ma'am, it's not about fair right now. It's about what's best for those children. And right now, their father, who is dying, believes what's best is distance from you. I tried calling Marcus's parents. They didn't answer. I tried texting. Nothing. I sat in the hospital lobby for 5 hours, waiting for them to arrive. When they finally showed up, Marcus's mom saw me and her face went hard. She walked right past me like I wasn't there. Marcus's dad stopped. He said, "We're taking the kids home tonight. Marcus is being transferred to hospice tomorrow. He doesn't want you there. He doesn't want you at the funeral. He doesn't want you near his children. Do you understand? Jim, please. Do you understand, Sarah?" I understand. Good. My son is dying. You don't get to make it worse. They brought the kids through the lobby 30 minutes later. Liam saw me and his face crumpled. Sophie was holding her grandma's hand, not looking at anything. I tried to go to them. Marcus's mom stepped between us. "Don't," she said. "Don't you dare. They're my kids. You gave up that right when you left them." They walked past me. Sophie looked back once. Just once. Her eyes were red from crying. She looked at me like she didn't recognize me. I haven't seen my children in 8 months. Marcus died 6 days later in hospice in Michigan. I found out from Facebook. His sister posted, "Our beautiful brother gained his wings today. He fought so hard. He loved his kids more than life itself. Rest easy, Marcus." I wasn't at the funeral. I wasn't invited. I drove to Michigan anyway, sat in my car across the street from the church, and watched 400 people show up to mourn my husband. I wasn't one of them. Ryan dumped me 4 days after Marcus died. Not even dumped me. Ghosted me. I texted him, "Marcus passed away." He left me on read. I called him. Voicemail. I called again. Blocked. I found out later through a co-worker that he'd gotten back together with his ex-girlfriend 2 days after Disney. Apparently, he'd been trying to work things out with her the whole time he was sleeping with me. We weren't even really together. I was just something he was doing on the side while figuring out his real relationship. I destroyed my family for a man who blocked my number the second my husband died. The divorce didn't happen because Marcus died before it could be finalized. But his will did everything a divorce would have done and worse. He changed it 3 days before he died, from his hospice bed. Left everything to the kids in a trust managed by his parents. The house, the cars, his life insurance, the 401k, all of it. I got nothing. His parents filed for full custody of Liam and Sophie 2 weeks after the funeral. Temporary emergency custody became permanent. They argued that I'd abandoned my children during a crisis, that I was an unfit mother, that Marcus's dying wish was for his parents to raise his kids. They had evidence. They had Marcus's texts, my phone records showing 186 calls to Ryan's number over 4 months. They had statements from the Disney security guard who found Marcus. They had testimony from the social worker. They had Liam's 911 call, had Sophie's panic attack documented by EMTs. Most damning, they had a letter. Marcus had written it in hospice, 2 days before he died. The judge read it out loud in court. "To whom it may concern, my wife Sarah abandoned me and our children on what she knew were my final days. She chose infidelity over being present for her dying husband and traumatized children. I do not trust her to put their needs above her own. I do not trust her to be a mother to them. I'm asking the court to grant custody to my parents, who have always put my children first. Please don't let my kids suffer anymore because of her choices. Marcus Harrison." The judge gave his parents full custody. I got supervised visitation, 4 hours per month, supervised by a court-appointed monitor. I haven't used those hours. The kids don't want to see me. Liam turned 11 in September. His grandparents posted photos on Facebook. Birthday party with his friends, cake, presents, smiling. Happy without me. Sophie turned 8 in November. Same thing. Princess party, all her friends, no mom. I sent birthday cards. Both came back unopened. I tried calling. Marcus's mom answered once, said, "The children have asked that you stop calling. Please respect their wishes." Then she hung up. My own parents sided with Marcus's family. My dad called me 3 weeks after the funeral and said, "What you did was unforgivable. Marcus was a good man and you destroyed him. We can't support you in this." "Dad, please. Your mother can't even say your name without crying. You killed him, Sarah. Maybe not with your hands, but you killed him. He deserved better. Those kids deserve better." He hung up. They haven't spoken to me since. I'm not invited to Christmas. Not invited to Thanksgiving. My sister got engaged 2 months ago. I found out from Instagram. I'm not invited to the wedding. When I texted to congratulate her, she responded, "Please don't contact me. You're not part of this family anymore." I lost my job 6 weeks after Marcus died. The story had gotten out. Someone at work had seen Ryan's Instagram story, put 2 and 2 together. HR called me in and said they were restructuring and my position was being eliminated. I know what it really was. I was a liability. The woman who cheated on her dying husband. Bad for company morale. I've applied to 47 jobs in 8 months. 3 interviews. 0 offers. I Google my name and the first 5 results are news articles. Local woman abandons dying husband for affair during Make-A-Wish trip. Someone made a TikTok about me that got 2.3 million views. The comments are exactly what you'd expect. I moved to Indianapolis, 3 hours away from Michigan where my kids are, 4 hours from Ohio where I grew up. Nobody knows me here. I got a job at a gas station, night shift. $13.50 an hour. I live in a 350 square foot studio that smells like mildew. I can't afford anything better. My rent is $850. I make about $1,900 a month after taxes. After rent, utilities, Car insurance, food, I have maybe $200 left over. I'm one bad month from homelessness. One car repair from having to choose between rent and eating. I tried therapy. Managed 3 sessions before I couldn't afford it anymore. The therapist kept trying to help me unpack my trauma and understand my choices. But I don't need to understand. I know exactly what I did and why I did it. I was selfish. I wanted to feel good. I prioritized 45 minutes of pleasure over being present for my dying husband. There's no trauma to unpack. Just choices. And consequences. The worst part isn't the loneliness, though that's bad. It's knowing my kids are growing up without me and they're better off for it. Liam's doing great in school, according to his grandmother's Facebook posts. Honor roll. Soccer team. Science fair winner. Sophie's in dance class, made some new friends, stopped having nightmares according to a post from 6 months ago. They're healing. Without me. Because I'm the wound. I saw them once, 3 months ago. Coincidence. I was in Michigan visiting Marcus's grave, the only place I'm allowed to go, and I saw them at a McDonald's. They were with their grandparents. Liam was laughing at something on his phone. Sophie was eating chicken nuggets, smiling. I watched them through the window. I couldn't go inside. Couldn't risk violating the custody order. So I just watched my children be happy without me. Liam looked up at one point. Looked right at the window. Right at me. Our eyes met for maybe 3 seconds. Then he looked away. Went back to his phone. Didn't tell his grandparents he'd seen me. Just pretended I wasn't there. That's when I knew. It's not that he hates me. It's that I don't matter anymore. I'm not his mom. I'm just the woman who used to be his mom, before she made the choice that ended everything. I drove back to Indianapolis, and didn't leave my apartment for 4 days. Marcus's parents set up a trust fund for the kids with his life insurance money. $500,000. It'll pay for college, weddings, whatever they need. I can't touch it. I'm not named in the trust. I have no access to my own children's lives, financial or otherwise. I'm 36 years old. I have no family. No friends. No career. No money. No future. I work night shifts at a gas station and go home to an empty apartment and try not to think about the family I destroyed. But I do think about it. Every second of every day. I think about Marcus in that hospital, dying alone while I was with Ryan. I think about Liam making that 911 call, his voice shaking, begging for help because his mom wouldn't answer. I think about Sophie having a panic attack in the ambulance, scared her daddy was dead and her mommy was gone. I think about Marcus's letter. I do not trust her to be a mother to them. He was right not to trust me. I wasn't a mother. Mothers don't abandon their children during the worst moment of their lives. Mothers don't choose another man over their dying husband. Mothers don't check their phone and decide, yeah, I'm going to go be intimate instead of being present for my family's last trip together. People want me to say I was depressed. That caretaker burnout is real. That watching your spouse die breaks something in you. And maybe it does. But that's not an excuse. Millions of people watch their spouses die. They don't all abandon them for affairs. They don't all choose the exact worst moment possible to blow up their lives. I made a choice. A series of choices. Every text to Ryan. Every lie to Marcus. Every time I pretended I was going to the gym when I was really meeting Ryan at his apartment. Every time I looked at my dying husband and thought I can't wait until this is over so I can be free. Yeah. I thought that. Multiple times. I looked at the man I'd promised to love in sickness and health, the father of my children, the person who'd been my partner for 12 years, and I thought I wish you'd hurry up and die so I can stop pretending. That's who I am. That's who I was the whole time. Not the grieving wife everyone thought they saw. Just a selfish woman counting down the days until she could be done with the burden of a sick husband. And then I got what I wanted. He died. I'm free. And free feels like drowning. I went to his grave last week. It's a 2-hour drive from Indianapolis, but I go once a month. His parents set up a beautiful headstone. Black granite with his photo etched into it, smiling, from before he got sick. Marcus James Harrison. Beloved son, brother, and father. Gone too soon. 1986 to 2024. They didn't put husband. I'm erased from his death like I was erased from his life. There are always fresh flowers. His parents visit weekly. The kids must visit too because there are drawings tucked into the flowers. One from last week said, "Miss you, Daddy." Love Liam. Another said, "I got an A in dance. You'd be proud. Love Sophie." I knelt in the grass and I told him I was sorry. Said it out loud even though he's not there to hear it, even though sorry means nothing now. I told him I'd give anything to go back. Anything to be the wife he deserved. The mother our kids deserved. But I can't go back. And if I could, would I make different choices? I want to say yes. I want to believe I'm not that person anymore. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually different or if I'm just sorry I got caught. Sorry I lost everything. Sorry for me, not for him. That's the thing that keeps me up at night. The fear that if I could go back, I'd still check that text from Ryan. Still get in the Uber. Still choose the same thing because in that moment, escape felt more important than anything else. Maybe I really am the monster everyone says I am. I saw a family at the gas station last night. Dad, Mom, 2 kids around Liam and Sophie's ages. The dad was sick, you could tell. Thin, pale, moving slow. Cancer, probably. The mom was helping him pump gas, helping him walk, keeping an eye on the kids. Being a partner. I watched them from behind the counter. Watched the mom kiss her husband's cheek. Watched her hold his hand. Watched her be present for him even though you could see she was exhausted, even though this was probably her 100th day of being a caretaker, even though she probably wanted to scream. But she didn't abandon him. She didn't get in a car and drive to a hotel to be with someone else. She stayed. Because that's what love is. Staying. Choosing your person even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. I didn't do that. I chose comfort over commitment. Pleasure over partnership. Myself over everyone else. And now I'm alone. Permanently, irreversibly alone. No do-overs. No second chances. No redemption arc where I become a better person and everyone forgives me. This is it. This is the rest of my life. Working for minimum wage, living in a terrible apartment, knowing my kids are better off without me, knowing my husband died believing I never loved him. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just loved the idea of him, the life we had before cancer. Maybe when things got hard, when he stopped being the healthy young husband and became the sick burden, I checked out. Started looking for the exit. Found Ryan and pretended he was the problem solution instead of just another mistake. I don't know anymore. I don't know who I am or who I was or if there's a difference. All I know is that Marcus deserved better. Liam deserved better. Sophie deserved better. And they got better. They got a life without me. I'm writing this because someone needs to hear it. Needs to understand what happens when you make the selfish choice. When you prioritize yourself over the people who need you most. When you think you can compartmentalize, think nobody will find out, think you deserve this one thing for yourself. You don't get away with it. Even if you don't get caught, you don't get away with it. Because you'll know. You'll live with it. Every single day for the rest of your life, you'll know what you chose and who you hurt. Marcus died thinking I didn't love him. My kids are growing up thinking their mother abandoned them. And they're all right. Because when it mattered most, when they needed me to show up, I chose a stranger over my family. You don't come back from that. There's no redemption. There's just this, the rest of my life, knowing I had everything and I threw it away for nothing.